Ladies and gentlemen, the Alec Dodge Show.
Hey! Welcome to the Alec Dodge Show. I'm your host tonight, Alec Dodge. And today we have a bit of a controversial topic on our hands, that being lowering the legal age to use marijuana to 18 from 21. I see no harm in this personally. You can smoke cigarettes at the age of 18, which contains formaldehyde, a deadly poison, and also something to preserve dead bodies. But for the time being, we'll have some guests come on to give their 2 cents on the issue. How about we introduce our first guest of the night? Alright, time for our first guest of the night. A former engineering student at CU Boulder and an all-around great guy. Apologies for the absence of good music. He also is our piano player. Connor! Oh, Connor, great to have you on.
Great to be here.
Well, you've heard the issue at hand. What's your opinion on the matter? That being lowering the age to use marijuana from 21 to 18.
Well, I think that this could be potentially an extremely beneficial thing for our society. I have seen on multiple occasions, including specifically my brother, who is now a master's student at CU for engineering, people get taken out of programs they shouldn't have been taken out of because of a possession of marijuana ticket, which can cost up to $200 and you can be required to take classes for.
This show's budget isn't even $200. I couldn't imagine paying a ticket that size.
I know, and then imagine when you're an engineering student at CU and you already have a bunch of work to do and you have to go to additional classes to prove that you are an upstanding citizen.
$1,000 a class? Sounds like armed robbery for me. Well, do you see any negatives on the issue?
I'm sure there can be some negatives. I do know a lot of people who are underneath, in that age range, who definitely should not be using it, and it's definitely negative for them.
Do you think we could overcome this issue by having better education on the effects of marijuana in high school,
You know, I'm not really sure. There's a side there's a valid argument on both sides. But in high school, more education can sometimes lead to more exposure and more knowledge about safe ways to use the drug.
Yeah, and not only that, just teaching people about these drugs at a much younger age can prevent the whole gateway drug theory from coming into play, where they start off by using something that is considered, very casual, like marijuana, and then they go on to doing much harder stuff.
Absolutely, I've seen that many times.
All right. Well, it was great having you on the show, man.
It was great to be here.
Sorry I have to usher you out so soon. It's just that, this is a college project and I don't have much time, so.
No problem.
That was great. Give me the handshake. It was great seeing you. Hey, all right. Time for our second guest of the night. But first, I'd like to comment on how great of an interview that was on his part. Concise points, just an all-around clean-cut interview, discussion, I should say. Time for our next guest. All right, our next guest of the night is a man with a medical marijuana card in the state of Colorado. He also has a lot of information to give us about marijuana. And I'd like to welcome our next guest of the night, Michael! Here he is. Hey, how's it going, man?
Very good, very good.
I'd like to get your 2 cents on the issue at hand tonight, that being lowering the legal age to use marijuana from 21 to 18.
I think it's a good thing, but I think 18 possibly may be too young. I think medically, if you need it, there should be exceptions, but I think for most part, that should be like for CBD and not THC.
Fair enough. Can you explain the difference between CBD and THC?
CBD is what's the actual medical ingredient within marijuana that helps you. It helped a girl have 1 seizure a week compared to 200 seizures a day. It also helped my stomach problems. I have gastrointestinal paresis, and now I don't feel as sick, but my stomach still does get a little bit of nausea.
And you have an object to show us from.
Let's take it up close with the cameras.
This is a edible that you can eat, and it is essentially taking 10 milligrams of THC, I believe, right?
Yeah, 10 milligrams of THC, which could be enough for people who usually don't smoke marijuana or usually ingest it. And it's good for people with nausea, people with anxiety, PTSD, and a number of other ailments.
So the way you see it is that, this could be just essentially a loaded gun to give to these younger people, but you have stated that it helps. Would a solution to that be we essentially ration it out to people? If someone of the age of 18, would like to take marijuana for whatever reason, would you suggest that we give like a 5 milligrams, I guess, in a pill form to someone?
I think a pill form's a good idea, and there already are pills in different dispensaries, indica and sativa pills, and CBD pills and THC pills, depending on what you want. I think as far as rationing out, I think it should be up to the consumer because everyone's different. Everyone has a different body, but I think that the it's already very regulated as it is. So I think it just needs to be more regulated for people under 18, the people with epilepsy, and the people with cancer and HIV.
Well, it was great having you on, and I look forward to seeing you again. And, well, wasn't that a good interview? Information. Now you can go home now and never see the CBD and THC if you didn't already. But, we're going to have our next guest on the show now. Now for our third testimony from a very smart, genius scientist. We're introducing our next guest, Mr. Science. Oh, hello there. I'm Mr. Science, your local, friendly, approachable doctor. And here, I'm going to throw up some interesting scientific facts for you. Look at this chart of 2 current, over-the-counter drugs you can buy. One of them being acetylsalicylic acid, or aspirin, and the other one being acetaminophen, or Tylenol. Both these drugs are, over-the-counter drugs you can buy at 18, alleviate some pain, get rid of that fever that's been hanging on for a while. But the things they don't tell you about is that aspirin can cause gastrointestinal bleeding, which could, seriously harm you, and Tylenol can cause liver failure, which kills you. And both these things, they just treat mild pain. And on the back of my chart, I have sketched up THC, or marijuana, or the chemical that gets you high in marijuana. This is illegal for people under the age of 18, and in most states it's just straight up illegal, even medically. And currently no one has ever reported to die while taking this, and it can be used to treat the same pain with no repercussions that Tylenol and Advil have. So the way I see it, why don't we just, hand out edible THC things that can alleviate the same pain that you have that you'd normally take a Tylenol or an aspirin for, and, not have to worry about dying of liver failure. Thank you. I've been Mr. Science, and stay tuned for the rest of the interview. Woo! Yes. Quiet on the set.
Oh my God, Alec, you're loving me too much. Hold on. I love you. Oh!